I'm fairly confident that most of you have seen a movie or TV show that's a part of the Star Wars franchise. Or at least you've heard of or maybe seen some of the pop culture references that have come out of it. If you have, then I'm sure you've also noticed a decline in its popularity in recent years. My purpose for this speech is to inform you why most Star Wars fans believe that the franchise is failing and no longer in its golden era. I've been a fan of Star Wars since as long as I can remember, and I've seen almost every movie and show that's been produced by the franchise. So, I have a little back experience in this topic. I've also done thorough research into this topic, and I think that you will all benefit from hearing what I have to say about it. By learning about how long-term fans feel about this franchise, hopefully you will be able to decide if it's something that you yourself might want to get more into and learn more about. I will start by talking about the demographics of Star Wars fans, and then I will conclude with how the franchise has changed since Disney took it over. With our roadmap in place, let's begin with the demographics of Star Wars fans. Although the Star Wars fan base is very diverse, who the majority of these fans are might have an impact on why they view the franchise as failing. To begin, Star Wars has gathered fans from most, if not every, group of people out there, regardless of gender, age, social status, or any other background. When the first Star Wars movie came out, it was most popular among young men, even though it still had a relatively large number of female fans. According to an article posted on Jedi Temple Archive's website, a Star Wars fan website that posts about all new things in the Star Wars community, the number of male fans is noticeably larger than the number of female fans. The largely male audience could be a key reason as to why some of these new movies and shows are not very successful. In addition, this article includes that most of these New Hope fans over the age of 40 are over the age of 40, in contrast to the younger female fans that the newest movies and shows have. Now that we know a little bit about the demographics of the Star Wars fan base, let's move on to how the franchise has changed since Disney took over. There's been a lot of changes for Star Wars ever since George Lucas sold it to Disney. To begin, after Kathleen Kennedy took over filmmaking for most new Star Wars productions, a large number of fans blamed her inputs for being the reason that the quality of said productions has been reduced and lessened. According to an article posted by Deadline, a well-established news website that focuses mainly on Hollywood news, Kathleen Kennedy said that the female filmmakers struggle with fan backlash due to the large majority of the audience being men. This made a lot of fans upset because their complaints were about the quality of the films and not about the filmmaker being a female. In addition, Disney also made a lot of new changes to how they would expand on old stories and add new ones. This includes things like making new live-action shows, spin-off movies, and new additions to the main storyline. This led to most new productions being viewed as lazy or rushed without much depth having gone into it. Today we have learned a few different reasons that have led most Star Wars fans to believe that the franchise has gone downhill. First, we learned about how the demographics of the Star Wars fan base and how that might have affected how they perceive this new era of Star Wars. Then we went over some of the big changes that were made to the franchise ever since Disney took it over. I hope that you will all be able to use what you've learned here today to decide for yourself if this franchise is something you want to learn more about and get more into. I will leave you with one of my favorite Star Wars quotes. Fear is a path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Thank you.